she'll speak to us.
Well, I know you said that you weren't sure of the theme, but I think I've got it now. Yes, it's the theme of trust, because the speaker and I, we've never met each other before, and we're on the same wavelength, especially when it comes to peanut butter and chocolate. That's like my totally favorite dessert of all time. So when do we get to dig in?
Well, I can do it while you're speaking, even though I didn't while I was speaking.
Yeah, I could probably do both things. I've got chocolate and peanut butter brownies waiting for me at home, and the girls have been staring at them all day, and I said, they're mine. After I'm done here, they're mine. So they can't wait. Well, anyways, one day, my family and I, we were returning from Bellevue from an errand, and as my husband was driving along, I was just staring out the window, and I was pretty depressed. My family and I, we were going through a trial at that time, and of course we all know trials are never fun. So I was feeling pretty low at that moment, feeling fearful of the future, feeling really discouraged and down. And then something out of the corner of my eye just caught my attention, and I looked, and there was this woman on a beautiful blue motorcycle just zooming along right past us, and I'm like, how did she do that? I mean, isn't she afraid of crashing? I sure would be. My husband's always like, when do I get a motorcycle? And I'm like, never. Never. You're never going to do that. And so I just watched at her. And I was like, she is so free. She doesn't even care if she might wreck. And it was raining too, you know, a little bit more dangerous. And there she is. And I started thinking, free. Wow. I would love to feel that right now. No burdens, nothing pulling me down. Oh, I would love to be free as she was. And then I thought, I can be like that. And the thought came, just trust me. Oh, okay. Well, I turned to my husband and I started explaining to him, you know, look at that motorcycle. And started talking about my thoughts and how I wish that inside I could be free. And then finally I declared, I need a motorcycle experience. Okay, you want to cause an accident? Just say that. My husband's like, what did you just say? And I said, I need a motorcycle experience. And he's like, I can't believe it. I've got goosebumps. Are you really serious? Yes. So for the next 2 weeks, he would not let me forget that I said that. And we thought, all right, who am I going to get to take me out on a motorcycle? Well, my neighbor right across the street has a motorcycle. And so he came over to our house one day, and you know, we've got a good friendship going, and his wife was there, and I said, I need a motorcycle experience. I'm working on a writing project. I really need to understand this. And I'm like, okay, what's with the surprise here? And my neighbor friend, her name is Kristen as well, and she's like, you want to be on a motorcycle? I'm like, yes, okay, I need it. So he gets, you know, the equipment, the big helmet, and that was quite a chore, and we're all trying it on. And finally, the day came when I got up the nerve to go on the motorcycle. So he pulls up, and he takes the time to discuss the safety. And my father-in-law happens to be there too. And the whole time before he comes with the motorcycle, my father-in-law is telling me, okay, when you turn, don't like turn. Just keep yourself in the middle of the seat very gently, ever so gently, and you'll be just fine. Okay, I'm remembering that. Then Bill comes up and he's like, okay, now, if the bike tips over, don't stick your leg out. Thinking, do I really want to do this? So I'm like, why? What will happen? He's like, snap. Your leg will snap. Well, he's a paramedic, and he's seen this many times. So I was like, okay. He's like, all right, and if you really want to get off, tap me, say something, yell something, and we'll pull over and we'll get off. Okay. Well, then I had the grand experience of trying to get on the bike. I'm not very flexible, I guess. Thankfully it wasn't a horse, but I had a very difficult time just getting on the bike. It was very embarrassing. But I finally got on there. I got situated. I'm sitting there, and he takes off, and I'm like, okay, this isn't so bad. We're going down our hill. We're going through the little country roads, getting to our town. We get to the town, and he starts speeding up and accelerating, and I'm like, this is so not fun. What was I thinking? He gets out of the town, and how many of you have been to Snoqualmie Falls? Okay, that's like a nice big hill, big mountain there. And we start going down this mountain, and he's going faster and faster. And I'm sitting there, and fear is absolutely gripping me. I mean, I'm about ready to panic. I'm having flashbacks of my skiing accidents. Unfortunately, there was more than one skiing accident. I had flashbacks of losing control, going down the mountain, and going off a 7-foot drop into a parking lot. I had these awful flashbacks and of losing control, and then the flashback of a car accident 10 years ago. I remember the impact. I could hear the metal crunching, and I thought, I don't want to do this again. After that car accident, I told my husband, you know what? Next car we get is going to be an SUV, and I'm going to be doing the running over. I'm not going to be the run over again, okay? So from that point on, we had an SUV. Well, now I find myself on a motorcycle with no metal around me to protect me. And I thought, how crazy is this? And fear was just totally getting to me. And I just wanted to reach out and scream and grab the guy and say, what were you thinking? If a friend asked you to jump off a bridge, would you do it? Well, you didn't have to say yes to my crazy idea. You could have told me no. And I just wanted to scream and throttle him. But I had to stop, and I thought, okay, his rules and the snapping leg kind of came back to me. And I thought, all right, I need to fear his rules more than my own fear here. So I learned on that motorcycle ride that there are two kinds of fear. There's good fear, and there's also bad fear. But let's go ahead and take a look at the good fear. And you all have notes in there, so we'll try to follow along right there. The first good fear, there are two good fears. The first good fear is the fear of judgment. The fear of judgment. It doesn't sound like a good fear, but actually it really is. The definition of fear is an emotion of alarm and agitation caused by the expectation or realization of danger. Okay, I'll read that again. An emotion of alarm and agitation caused by the expectation or realization of danger. So everyone is born with the instinct of right, wrong, God, and judgment. Let's go ahead and look at Romans 1. Romans 1. Okay, Romans 1, verses 18. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness, because that which may be known of God is manifest in them, for God hath showed it unto them. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. And then verse 32, who knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. So everyone is built with a conscience. That's God's DNA imprint in everyone. We all know it's built into us what is right and what is wrong. When we have our children, we don't need to say, oh, here, Susie, this is how you lie. They already know it. It's quite natural to them. Instead, we have to teach them how to be honest. You don't have to teach little Johnny how to grab toys. He already knows it. But you have to teach them what is right